is the 263rd episode of CloudFocus Weekly for the first week of June 2017. This episode is titled Ruh-Roh, Astro. CloudFocus Week is brought to you by Arkus, specializing in Salesforce implementations, consulting, and Force.com developments. Search for Arkus, A-R-K-U-S, on the App Exchange and see what our clients have to say about us. I'm your host, Jason Atwood, and joining me, quizzically looking at me with his head tilted sideways like a dog, is co-host Justin Edelstein. Justin, how are you this June?
I'm doing good. It's June. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Look at that. What happened?
World tours.
I still can't run.
Trips to California. You still can't run?
Still can't run. I'm allowed to run across the street, I asked. If you're going to get hit by a car, you're allowed to run. So I was like, so I can run.
You had to ask for that?
So I can run.
As opposed to what? Because hit by a car, even if you tore your whatever the heck, like...
I was like, so I can run then.
So how many consecutive podcasts in a row have we talked about you and your hip?
I'm going to keep the streak going till it's healed.
Should we just bring in should we drop a Google Wave reference so we can keep that streak going too?
I mean, that's a pretty good reference if you ask me.
Good. Well, speaking of good references, we have a good agenda today. Tons of stuff on the blog. I always try. And we have some stuff coming up. We have talk about a little bit about why we named it Ruh-Roh Astro. And have some blog posts about summer and permission sets. We have some Dreamforce news, some releases, and then maybe we'll talk a little bit about the upcoming Monday WWDC, because there's some predictions going on there. The Apple Worldwide Developers Conference.
Predictions.
Which they're gonna announce. We're gonna talk a little bit because I think we'll probably cover it next week or the week after, whenever we get back.
Or whenever.
Whenever. So, a funny thing happened to me today.
Do tell.
Yeah, so I was in...
Funny thing happened to me on my way into setup
I was in Sandbox, and normally in Sandboxes, and especially if I'm going to demo in Sandboxes, I do upload my picture. I keep a picture in my desktop in a folder, and I upload my picture. I even have one now that I put as my background. Great. Enlightening. But I was logging in as a different user to test something, and I clicked on the user. Actually, I went to click on the user because I wanted to see their profile as them, and all of a sudden, instead of they didn't have their picture there, instead of seeing sort of the just generic picture on their little icon and on their profile page, lo and behold, Astro was there.
Just chilling.
A little black and white picture, or sort of grade colored picture of Astro.
Gradient styles.
Who is Astro, you ask? Astro was the first of now basically a whole zoo of...
Astro's not an animal. Well, technically
really?
An animal. Well,
what is that?
It's a human.
No.
Astro's a person.
No, they're all animals.
No, Astro's not an animal.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Well, I mean, technically it's an animal, but it's a human being.
No.
Yes, Astro's a person.
No.
All right, you keep talking, and I'm going to Google that.
Okay, you find that.
How do you Google that?
How do you do...
Salesforce Astro human question mark?
So...
how do you figure
So
that
do
out?
humans have ears that stick up out of the top of their heads?
Actually, Salesforce has a blog called Get to Know the Salesforce Mascots.
And let me guess, it's an animal.
Astro. As a true outdoors mascot, Astro can usually be found running around on Trailhead, helping everyone learn Salesforce. In fact, Astro's passion for helping customers... I'm just going to get to what this thing is. You know what? They don't really say. Okay. But it's a person in an outfit. You can see their face. Its face is human.
Okay. Doesn't look human to me. It's not very many humans that I look at.
Well, it's wearing it's a human in an outfit.
In an animal outfit.
Yes,
it's a furry.
But the face, I mean, do you see
I get it. I have a picture of it on my desktop.
It's a face.
Right. No nose, no mouth.
Well, it's a mascot. It doesn't need a mouth.
And it has a fuzzy tail.
But that's an outfit that it's wearing.
Oh, I see. Okay. Anywho, Astro, person or not person or alien being,
Person.
shows up as the default icon. And I was like, oh, that's weird. At first, I thought the user had done that, and I thought, well, like, wow, you're very dedicated if you're replacing your icon with the default of Astro. But then I realized, oh no, this is something Salesforce has done. Salesforce has put Astro as the default icon for the person icon, which they've changed about 6 times now, by the way. They used to have like a non-smiling face, and they went to a smiling face. They've changed it a couple times. So, and for some reason, I'm like pissed off. Like, I can't take this anymore. The cartoonization of Salesforce, and we talk about it at the World Tours, and we talk about it it's like Trailhead, this product with this nice branding message of, I guess, outdoorsness and mascots, and I guess Einstein, definitely a person Einstein, not wearing a suit, not wearing a bunny suit or whatever, a raccoon suit. It's getting me. I'm getting tired of it. Like, and then showing up inside the software. I mean, yes, it's in the setup screen, and yes, they have the App Exchange person, and now they have the mobile guy with the helmet, and they have the owl that's for the App Exchange, and it's
called App Exchange Owly. I don't know what it's called. I feel like it should be called that, because why not?
Am I on a limb here to say enough is enough?
No, you're on it. You're good.
I'm good, because you would call me out if you think I was just being like persnickety
I would,
old man.
but I was with you, and then you put the idea on the idea exchange to go look for it, and I voted on it, and I wrote a comment on it that I do feel as though enterprise software used by enterprises, large and small, should not be treated in a way that like a cutesy consumer facing like piece of or an app, like one of our app picks of the week. If they want to get cute and use their mascot in the setup or whatever, fine. But we all know that if you're coming from a perspective of working with large enterprises and financial services institutions, they're going to see that and be like, this is a joke, right? Like, our people aren't putting their picture in there because they're not adopting Chatter. But how do I go to Lightning when I've got this thing?
It's a cartoon.
It is a cartoon.
And, like, just replacing everybody's picture with a cartoon?
It's the same. You may as well just have blank like it was. If everyone's going to look the same, whether it be blank or Astro, it should just be blank. They're the same. But don't use Astro. It's not an appropriate use of Astro.
Yeah, I just it's getting to me, and I just don't understand. This is my theory, and I don't have anybody in Salesforce that has confirmed this, but that they started with Trailhead, they came up with a couple of these characters, and now they're just fully in love with it. Like, they've like found love in this new marketing, and they're like, oh my goodness, this is so cute. So they keep doing it and doing it and doing it.
It's about equality.
No, it's not about equality. But this is the point. Sometimes the message of what you're talking about and what you have are not connected. It's not about equality. It's about software.
Connect them in your mind.
Anyway.
Use your mind grapes and connect them.
I can't take it. So I wish they would pull back a little bit. Pull back, guys. Come on. Enough with the Astro. Enough with the 1,500 little characters. Like, right. I feel like I'm reading a comic book, not using CRM.
We've drank the haterade.
And, no, one more comment.
Okay.
And when things don't work and things break and bugs happen and stuff like that, my mind, not nicely, but my mind goes, wow, if you wouldn't spend so much time like playing around with new dolls, like you could actually fix this stuff. Like, get some people and put the pay and put the money, instead of coming up with new cartoon characters, maybe put some of that money into like fixing things and making things work and bringing features that are completely missing from Lightning into Lightning. Like,
right.
I would rather you spend a few more of those marketing dollars, like just shift it over to the development side and say, how about we not make 17 new cartoon characters? How about we fix some bugs? And how about we make this thing work? And how about we make it faster? Like, that to me, so it's a resource thing as well as just I'm kind of a little bit over it. Okay, so maybe I'll be the first out there. And if you agree, tweet at me. If you don't agree, tweet at me. At Just Edelstein. No.
That's me. But you can tweet at me. I'll just bring you into the conversation.
That's true. All right. So we got some blog posts. We have Summer 17 ideas released.
Why don't we do the rapid reaction first?
Oh, the rapid okay, we'll do rapid reaction.
You wrote that.
By Jason Atud.
That's you.
Yeah, because I was...
Is that how you pronounce your name?
I've been messing up so many people's names that I'm just going to keep messing them up intentionally. Therefore, you don't know if I'm really messing your name up or if I'm just messing it up because I don't know how to pronounce your name.
Oh.
So I looked at...
Have people been complaining to you about how
someone came up. It's like, yeah, you've been saying my name wrong for a year.
Who's that?
I'm not going to say it because then I have to say his name.
I want to know.
I'm not saying it.
Who is it?
I'm still not going to say it. You can ask
say
it 4
correctly.
times. Nope.
Are you going to say it correctly the next time?
Maybe.
Did they write a blog post that we're going to talk about?
Maybe. All right.
Well, one of them's me. I expect you to get me right. And the other one is not a he. So
all right. So very good. So this actually took over from you because
you snagged this.
You were busy. So looked at the rapid reaction. That's where you just look over the 506 pages or 541 pages of the summer release notes, and you pick out a few things that just kind of get in your face and like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
There are lots of things. Again, it is a lot of things coming in summer. Break out your Sunday afternoon and sit down with the 541 pages.
I've only perused them to this point. I haven't really dug too deep. I was looking at, which you don't cover here, but I was looking at the content and files and how they're going to impact communities, which is interesting. You don't mention it, but I'm going to bring it up as a rapid reaction.
Good. Well,
first time that I've actually seen this happen. I don't know if you've seen this happen, where Salesforce, in the process of going to Lightning, has decided to decouple. You know how like marketing user is like a checkbox on a user record, and it makes no sense now?
Right.
Like it made sense, I guess, and I guess it still makes sense for like professional edition or something like that.
It used to be a license, right? It's no longer a license.
Well, also for orgs where you can't update profiles.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, you can create these or you can't.
Yes.
Checkbox. But CRM content user was something that they rolled out that way as like a checkbox on a user record. But everyone could use it. So it like made no sense to sort of be there, especially when they created permission set license assignments and permission sets. So they've taken content, that checkbox, and made it irrelevant. So they've actually re-architected the way people can access libraries and content, and have actually invested in them and made them better moving forward in Lightning experience, and in the process made the provisioning for it better. So you don't have to worry about that checkbox anymore.
Nice.
Which is the right way to do it. Like
the old content screens, I was looking at the other day for some reason.
They're getting a little update.
Or are they just moving into files?
Libraries, the concept of libraries are moving into Lightning. And I don't understand it well enough yet because I have to play with it. Because I was just skimming through the notes, but as I understand it, they're decoupling content from libraries. So the concept of a library doesn't necessarily mean that you're using content. So I think you're right. It's like
they're moving
files.
Libraries into files.
Right.
And taking away from...
That's how I understood what I was reading, but I have to play with it.
We know you don't read so well, so you have to actually...
I don't read good, so I have to play.
My favorite, and there's a bunch of things on blog.arkussync.com. No, that's fine. Is my favorite of this release is actually killing off of 2 features. I'm so excited to have
R.I.P.
Stay in touch requests gone.
You popped open your old English 40. You poured a little out. For your homies. For what 2 features?
So stay in touch requests, which is now no longer a thing. So there used to be a button that I had to remove.
That or uncheck it from people's profiles.
That allowed you to send out a non-editable template that sent a link to somebody that allowed them to actually edit things and leave changes to a contact that you could then accept. The theory was cool. I have some data about you. I want to send you something to say, hey, I have some data about you. Is this correct? I remember getting them, and I've gotten them in my life.
I've gotten them myself, yes.
From Salesforce. They always look spammy as heck, so I'm sure, and I think that the usage just dropped down. I think the idea of from my CRM saying, hey, I want you to update my CRM. I think that's gone. So that's going away. And then Cloud Scheduler, I think, is a bit more of a, I think it's a mixed bag. Because Cloud Scheduler was Salesforce's answer to ability to send out something to multiple people and say, hey, here's when I'm available. Everybody pick what your times are, and then I can then schedule it. So I'd send it out to 5 people. I could pick 3 spots, whatever, on my calendar, and then say, hey, everybody tell me when it is. And if everybody voted on this one, I would then go, great, and then I could send out a meeting request. A couple things I think killed it. One, it was confusing. So I think that's actually a design thing, right? It was design not great. And I can tell you why, because now it's built into tons of other apps. And like Cirrus has it built in.
Inbox.
And
Salesforce Inbox
it's
has it.
in Inbox, it's in Cirrus. So basically everybody else has done it now. So it was never really designed well, because it was, you thought by sending that out you had scheduled it, but you hadn't.
You had not.
And so then
you had to confirm it.
You had to go in and confirm it. Then he was sending out that. So that was one problem. Problem 2 was Salesforce's events were terrible and still are terrible. They don't allow you, they don't send out requests that you can add in your calendar. Like it's a 4-step process.
And if you're using a web-based calendar, you're not.
It doesn't work.
Gonna be able to use that.
So I actually think that it's kind of. I think Cloud Scheduler is actually Salesforce's fault. They never put in more time and energy after the first release, and then they should have fixed events first. And if events worked like Google Calendar works or any calendaring where it sends it out and people can accept and it comes back and it tells you people accept, then I think Cloud Scheduler would have done better. But because they did neither of those two things, because Astro, then it was, that's why they had to kill it off.
Not because Astro.
Oh, I'm just saying, because Astro. It's Astro money.
It's Astro money. Astro money.
Astro money. All right, so that was a good one. Next one
That's
up.
Good. That was good. Good little recap.
Yes.
This is one of my favorites that we do every release, which is ideas delivered.
Ideas delivered.
Comb through the idea exchange. Look for the ideas being delivered in Summer 17, or maybe there's just a list of them in the release.
This one too is
or
just
the
a
other.
layup blog post.
Listen.
So good job, Ashley. No, it's
Wow.
She always does this one. She likes this one. This is like the one
Someone
that
else
she does.
Pete used to do it. Ashley, they kind of like. I think they fight over it. I don't know. They might fight over it.
Let's see part 3 of Ryan's.
Let's see who does
Ryan's
lightning
ideas.
Lightning stuff.
in summer.
Lightning stuff. So lots of ideas being delivered in this release. The point total, the points being retired. For those that aren't aware, the idea exchange is a place where you go. You vote on ideas that should be included in the software. You can vote up or down, and the product managers look at it when it gets to a certain threshold. Sometimes by accident, they release features that basically retire an idea, and it's retiring points. So 33,160 points at the time of writing this blog post, which she points out is actually not a whole lot compared to the last release. But still, that's a lot of features that people are asking for that are being retired.
So I have a reason why.
Do you have
I
a theory?
think, yeah.
Theoretical?
Go
on.
So a lot of them are Lightning things that they're picking off, but because Lightning ideas haven't been out there for 10 years, like some of the big ones,
right,
they're small.
It's also not a top-level category to say Lightning experience in terms of your...
That's my...
And you have an idea for the idea exchange.
Yes. To add in, to make Lightning not a
top-level deal.
Yeah, because Lightning right now as a category is not top level. It's under Sales Cloud, which, as we all know, is stupid because the whole thing is Lightning. So the experience is Lightning. It should be a top-level category. Because I went in the other day, it's like, oh, show me all the Lightning ideas. I couldn't find it until I drilled into the category.
She wrote a lot about email integration and how that's retiring a ton of points. Email integration with Gmail.
Right.
The ability to relate directly from the Gmail interface. It was in beta in spring. I guess it's going GA in summer. Being able to actually have a native Salesforce provided, won't be as fully featured as something like Inbox or Cirrus,
right,
or Yesware or whatever. But it's going to give you that rudimentary ability to relate emails from the Gmail interface, send emails, relate them, add attachments, things of that nature. What I understood, there's a big thing with the calendars. Like if you set up the Lightning sync like server level sync.
Yeah.
There's a sort of big to do about the event synchronization between your Salesforce events and your Google Calendar, and being able to actually really start using the Salesforce calendar as a real calendar, which makes sense.
Yes.
To me.
It would be. I would
if
love.
They can just leverage hey, this is an event, and I'm syncing with Google. Google,
Right.
you take care of this now.
Well, Apple's been able to do that forever. I have I have Apple Calendar, iCal, used to call it. Now I think it's called Calendar.
It's
Yep,
just
it's called
Calendar.
Calendar. And I like it because I can overlay personal iCloud and work, which is through Gmail. Google App Suite, G Suite as they call it now, another rebranding. But I like to schedule inside, because when I'm looking at my calendar, I want to be able to schedule looking around all the things, like all the events. So I can, when I schedule inside of Calendar on my Mac, I schedule through the calendar,
Right.
put in all the stuff, and then Google then sends out the request.
Sure.
So Apple
just a
doesn't send
service.
it. Right. So it sends it, then it sends out. So that's great. I actually think that's one of the best. And then that syncs over via Cirrus into Salesforce and blah, blah, blah. I will say I had a mini win.
Min?
Nah, doesn't work. A mini win with Lightning the other day. I switched over to Lightning. I did something Lightning that you can't do in Classic. And I was like, this is great.
Create a calendar or something?
Nope. I was looking at tickets. And I wanted to change a lot of the statuses of tickets. Our tickets are record typed. But there's lots of different ones. And if you want to look at the status of a ticket, there's different record types under that same status. So you can't do show a view of just these. If I want to look at all open, there's 4 different record types or 3 different record types. So I was like, oh, crap. So I had to click into each one. I was like, because the list view, I can't do it because I have to separate them out. So I'd have to have multiple list views. Ugh, pain in the butt. Flip to Lightning. Kanban view.
Tabs for record types.
Boom. Just,
Yep. Start
and
dragging
but they
and
just show
dropping.
up.
Yeah.
And then for changing, just drag and drop.
Right.
So drag and dropping them from the status became very easy. And I was like, this is nice. That actually saved me a ton of time. And it was great. I just dropped, or completed, could quickly look at it and then flip to the next one. That was really, really nice. Plus 10 on the save me time scale.
How about that?
Yeah.
Astro.
Ruh-roh! Do you know what that's from? Do you know what Ruh-roh's from?
Scooby-Doo?
Yes. Okay.
Not
Well, don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Not
'Cause-
that.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
I'll just take my hat off and show off my full head of hair.
Oh.
I don't know if that made it on.
All right, we'll make it one more time. I gotta turn it up, dude. Turn it up.
Come on, sound effects guy.
Yeah, here we go. Drop. Where's my producer? My wife has taken to saying that recently. It's like her little catchphrase now, and I give her one rut-row a week. We're just having a conversation, and Justin did something stupid at work, and she'll be like, rut-row, and I'm like, no.
I like that. I actually like that response to that.
Well, first of all, it's very often, so
I don't mind that response.
All right,
Man, we are still talking about blog posts.
Hey, let's go. We got some stuff to do.
There's this one I wrote.
Yeah.
Permission sets in a Lightning world.
What's this about?
I wrote about permission sets and how they live in a Lightning world.
This is terrible. All right. So
Actually, it was more of a homage to permission sets and how well thought through they were from the start, because they kind of just work.
this is just Twitter bait for Adam Torment. That's all it is.
It's not, because I don't think he jumped on it.
He did.
He did. He liked it.
Yeah,
whatever.
of course.
Anyway,
he did.
it was really they were built from the start API first, so they just work.
Right.
When you jump into them, you can still do all the things that you needed to do before. And then I wrote a little bit, about, again, I talked about how they were mature from the start. And then I wrote a little bit about what I thought permission sets could be used for in the future. And talked a little bit about, hey, wouldn't it be cool if a Lightning component could be permissioned at a permission set level? So you build an app page, and for any given user, it could actually be different.
Right. The app page.
The actual page could be different based on whether you can see or not see a component.
Which is the way that lots of things in Salesforce already behave. I'm just trying to think like, is that already existing? So if I don't have access to an object in Salesforce, I'm looking at the page and it's a related record, right? I can't see it. The related list is gone.
Right.
So in the same way, I'm looking at or I could give a permission set to that person to see it, and they would see the related list. So it changes the UI based on what they could see. So if you could create a permission set for a component, I might land on an app page and see 7 components, and you might see 10.
Right.
Now, I think the weird thing would be where they sit. I guess I could just float up or down, like, hey, if it's not there, it goes up, or because you can get kind of granular with where things are on an app page. So
yeah, but if it's just like a regular 2-column page, like okay,
boring 2-column page.
Whatever.
Give me a no-column page.
0-column.
All right, well, that too is on blog.arkusinc.com, and of course, you made a nice call out to the permissioner.
I did, and I got some comments on this.
Yes, I saw that.
People were commenting.
I like it.
With predictions and all sorts of things.
Speaking of predictions... Nope, sorry.
No, it didn't work.
2 to go. So Dreamforce, guess what's happening? Dreamforce is happening. The call for presentations, which I might enter in one this weekend.
For both developers and admins.
Yep.
For both sessions and theaters, which are different.
I'm just going to enter in one and see what they do with it.
You got to decide whether you want to present at a theater or an actual breakout.
I think I'd like a theater better.
Theater's 20 minutes, breakouts are 40.
Definitely do a theater because I feel like there's a lot of walk-by traffic, and sessions I feel like it's more of a commitment. People kind of don't like on the sessions. Just you don't want to be during a keynote. That's the problem. It's like going during a keynote. But I haven't spoken in a while, so I figured, maybe I'll try to speak. I have to come up with something like...
I was thinking the same.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was like, I haven't spoken to Dreamforce in a couple years. And
should we do a joint session?
They stopped we can do a podcast if they would have a podcast studio, which would be a joint session.
Hey, let's ask Astro to get us...
Astro, do you have room for a podcast studio now that there's like 1 million Salesforce podcasts and people would actually sign up and do it? Which, by the way, they did like 3 years ago anyway.
Ruh-roh.
Now there's more. Yeah, that is a ruh-roh.
Okay.
Figure it out, people.
See how you can just get angrier and angrier the more you think about it? Think of the amount of graphic artists they have sitting in a room coming up with these little characters, and the committees talking about them and going over them. And what does the goat mean?
You can't have
what
a
does
podcast
the goat
studio.
say? And what does the bear mean? And what does I don't know. They got like a bunch of them. Anyway,
there's a goat.
So if you want to speak at Dreamforce, remember, start planning. When is Dreamforce registration? Soon. It's got to be soon.
It's got to be soon.
It's got to be June-ish. June-ish, July-ish.
And it used to be a little earlier, but again, Dreamforce was a little earlier. So I have to imagine it's coming within the next month.
Get ready for that.
We don't have a clue. We're just guessing.
Salesforce also released a Trailhead tracker. Kind of interesting.
So this is installed in our sandbox, by the by.
Trailheadization of Salesforce. We should just change the name of Salesforce to Trailhead.
So I have this installed in our sandbox. It didn't work.
Okay, let's not talk about it then.
Well, no, I have a call on Monday with already mentioned Adam.
Okay.
To talk about it, because I'm like, I want to use it. It looks cool. You can... Basically, it's supposed to bring in all of the trails and badges into your org. And then you can assign them to people to do.
Right.
And you can then track the progress of how they're doing with respect to what you've assigned them to do. And you can see where they are because it actually connects.
So if your users inside Salesforce. So it's
your Salesforce users.
Right. Connected up to Trailhead. Yes.
Connected up to Trailhead. You can see where they are on a trail or on a given learning path.
Right.
The problem is, and what we're going to talk about, well, twofold. One, it just didn't work. It didn't do what it was supposed to do. It didn't bring in, like, it has this API connection that you have to
You know who you should have called instead?
Astro?
Yes! You should have called Astro.
I'll call Astro on Tuesday. But I think there's an issue with when you have your users, and this is true for me, like my Trailhead user is not my Salesforce user.
Right.
And I think that's true for most people.
Right.
They set up a dev org with their like Gmail account or whatever account,
because they don't
their
want
work account. They don't want to be
companies,
like tied to their work account. And even myself, who owns the company I work at, it's still not tied to my work user.
I don't remember what mine is tied to.
So it's not tied to. So it doesn't work for me, and it wouldn't work for most people who work here or any. I don't think. So I got to talk to him about that because I got to figure out the workaround. He said there's something I can do.
What's interesting is this is.
It's a labs product.
We talked about work.com and not moving forward and sort of a product that's sort of at the end of life, but like. This is interesting because this is kind of a little work.com-ish, right? That I can look at people's progress, I can assign them tasks and track their progress metric in what they're doing towards a goals and metrics. So it's interesting, right? It's kind of a little, I don't think they're thinking of it that way, but it's a little bit of a connection. Now, for those of you who are not partners in the Salesforce partner community, interesting enough, we already kind of have this. We don't have the assignment, but we have the tracker. So I can log into our partner org, and everybody, it's a permission you can give to every user where they can see everybody's progress.
Right.
So you can go in.
I can see all the trails and modules and badges that you've collected. I can see it all.
Right. Everybody in Arkus can log in to the partner community, and we can all look at the education tab and see everybody's trails, what's in progress, what they've done, and their badges. I think that's about it. So kind of interesting. I like it. It's an interesting, free. Give it a shot. Speaking of things that are free, so
none of this is free.
Yeah, well, free to watch. I love that. By the way, I love that Apple actually like streams this. Remember, it used to be like you had to watch like a live blog.
Watch a blog.
Yes.
Update.
And then the really cool ones would have like auto-refreshing blogs.
Those were the good ones.
You're like, oh, so good. And then they'd break because there'd be too many people on them.
And then Twitter happened.
So on Monday will be I guess, I don't know if they do this by a year, but the 2017 version of the Worldwide Developers Conference. This is Apple's, again, for developers. But it's also become a big, because they've gone out of Macworld. They used to do something called Macworld. They used to do a big announcement there. They kind of pulled out of that a long time ago, and now it's just being run as a third-party thing. So this is kind of, other than their small announcements throughout the year, this is kind of their big pitch.
This is the big one.
This is kind of their Dreamforce.
There's usually one in the fall.
No, but that's a special event. This is a special conference.
Event, a small...
But this is a conference.
Yeah,
that's a special event.
I understand.
One's a conference.
One is for announcing things, and the other is for announcing things and teaching people other things.
That's right. So this is a
they
conference.
Just announced.
I would love to go to the Worldwide Developers Conference some year.
Why don't you just go?
Some year I will. This tickets sell out in like 20, 30 minutes when they announce them. You have to already have a developer account, so you have to pay that $99. Not a big deal. It is a $1,200, $1,400, $1,500 ticket. I'd love to go some year. It looks like a lot of fun. I'd have to figure out a way to make it so it's something useful in my life other than just going. But they also generally announce a lot of software stuff. So for us Mac users, because it is a developers conference, they usually announce iOS, the next version, and they are the next version of the desktop. Now, over the last couple of years, it's been almost like every single year. Boom, boom, here's the next version. And they've been doing... they're not grandiose, huge changes. They're like small changes, but they're big enough so it's a big deal, but not big enough so it's like changing your world. So there will probably be a new version of iOS. There will probably be a new version of, tvOS and watchOS and Sierra or whatever the next one is called. That's all awesome. But this time there's lots of rumors going around their hardware announcements. Around Apple TV. Where's Apple TV going to go with the new OS? And the big one that I'm super excited about, and for only two reasons. One, because I want one, and two, because I would absolutely crush my prediction for this year, which is there's a rumor, it's already in production, that they are going to come out with an Echo, a speaker.
Like a home device.
And I wrote a blog post every year called Predictions for the Next Year, and I read it in December, and I predicted they would do this because it just felt like this huge missing
Apple Astro?
Apple Dot or something.
Apple Astro?
No, Astro.
Astro, order me dog food.
She'll probably listen.
That was
Because you think about it, You have a Dot, or you have an Alexa, or you have the full
the
Echo Tower.
Echo Tower.
Yeah. And then there's the Dot, and they're great, but they're
use
not
it-
connected to the Apple universe.
We use it for two things.
Ordering cat food.
Nope, we don't even do that.
Weather,
and music.
right. Play this and play that, but it can't connect to your iTunes.
No, but I have Amazon Prime, so it has like everything that Amazon Prime has.
But I have playlists and things, and and same thing with Apple TV. Like, wouldn't it be cool if I could use it instead of having to pick up my remote,
Right.
and talk to my Apple
Play
TV?
this thing.
I could just talk to the thing in the room that's listening. So what I love about it is it's going to be very, and HomeKit, like, it all becomes very useful at that point. So I'm very excited about that. They are talking about a new MacBook Pro. They're actually rebooting this reboot. I don't know.
What happened with this one? This is a very fine machine.
I know, I like this machine.
We're sitting on our new MacBook Pros, and they're gonna go.
I think they're
next
gonna.
levels
I think
already?
they're either gonna. I don't know. There's prediction of new ones, new iPad versions that I wouldn't
need a new
mind.
iPad. My iPad's old and slow, and it barely works.
I know, and we had the same
I don't
model.
even
You
use
have
it.
actually a model ahead of me, and I
do.
and I got rid of it like 3 months ago. And other than going to the gym, where I steal my wife's iPad, and watching TV at night, like, that's it. But the other day, I was like, oh, I don't need one because I just use my wife's iPad, and
I
it's
don't
great.
even use it at all anymore because it just is too slow.
Right. If you got a brand
I'm
new one, you
annoyed.
start to use it again.
Yes, because I use my phone instead because it's faster and it's
Of course.
big anyway.
Because
It's a big phone. It's a phablet.
It's a phablet. So anyway, we'll see. We'll probably talk about it when we get there. Want to do a little heads up for programming.
Programming note.
Justin and I have been talking about doing a series of. So we've never done this before.
A World Series.
A special series. We've had special episodes.
Special series.
Special series. Now we're talking about doing a special series, not just a special episode. And since we're such GTD freaks, and it seems to be something that people really like when we talk about, we get a lot of feedback on those shows, and we get a lot of, they seem to get hit a lot because it's a big thing. So we're thinking about doing a 3 or 4 part, 17 part, no, 3 or 4, I think is the thing, probably in July. And we're going to do a series of GTD podcasts. And we're going to talk about like 3 or 4 different topics. And we'll take one topic per episode. And we'll go over just that topic. And we'll kind of release them like that. So if you hate that idea, let us know. If you love that idea, let us know. Either way, we'll probably do it. So don't matter. But just to let you know, so if you see like what happens to CloudFocus Weekly and all of a sudden they're doing a bunch of GTD stuff in the summer, that's because that's what we did. We're thinking about doing that intentionally. We'll come back to Salesforce.
We're never going to leave you, Salesforce.
No. You, Astro, I'm never leaving you.
Never, ever leaving Astro.
So, speaking of never leaving, God, every time you just take it to do anything.
Let's just do that. You're like, speaking of this, and then it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't matter.
Where you
It
go
works.
with it.
Yeah. Speaking of where you're going to go, where you're going to go with your CloudFocus app pick of the week.
I'm going to pick the ESPN mobile app.
You have picked this like 6 times.
I swear I haven't. I swear I
You
haven't.
have.
No, I definitely haven't.
You definitely have.
Well, it's been upgraded 1 billion times since I have. How about that?
Oh, you can pick it for every upgrade?
Well, I've definitely picked Watch ESPN,
Okay.
but
I think then you picked like the app. You picked like the Watch ESPN on the phone. Then I feel like you picked it again on the Apple TV.
Well, now I'm thinking on the phone, the ESPN app, because it's so good. They've made their app really, really good, because now everything is combined in one app.
Oh, so it used to be multiple apps. Now it's one app?
Yeah, and it like replaces SportsCenter to me. Like SportsCenter is not a thing that you need anymore. Because
You're talking about the show.
The show that's an hour long of highlights and whatever else they talk about now, and they just talk about too much crap.
Right.
And it's not like what you want, which is just, or what I want. I want to see the scores and the highlights from the game so I can see what's going on. Well, now I can just go on on the device.
A device, you say?
A device. Pick the games on like literally any sport that I care about.
Yeah.
And then I can also have my favorites, and they have the Listen tab, which is basically all their radio, all their podcasts, everything on there. Listen live on different markets and all that stuff, the national stuff. And then the Watch ESPN stuff is on here.
Now in
so
there.
Everything is in this one app, and it works really well. I like it. It's my preferred like go-to app for finding out scores, looking at highlights, videos, whatever. I think ESPN has done an interesting job. There's like a lot of stories about them because they've laid off about hundreds of people,
including like
big
John
big
Clayton.
people.
Well,
that was very recent, but yes,
Yeah.
but many others. But they're really getting more focused on digital, which is smart because that's where the world is going, and those who can create like reusable digital content, that's who they're like keeping around. They don't need the reporter John Clayton who's behind anyway. Like they have Adam Schefter who can cover the entire NFL on his iPhone.
He's got 1,700 people on his phones.
You don't need John Clayton to tell you what happened 3 days ago.
I feel like Adam Schefter is actually just people texting him like, I want this to get on SportsCenter, so I text you.
It, and he's like, okay, cool.
I don't think he bets it.
Sources say.
Sources say.
Sources
Ryan
say.
Tannehill is going to be terrible this year. All right, so that's cool. I basically don't look at sports from February to September, or let's call it August. So I'll see it in August when I actually want to watch sports. I'm on a sports hiatus. I love it. So my pick...
Until tomorrow when I drag you out to watch the Champions League final.
All right. A little personal. Don't talk about our personal life. No, just kidding. Yeah, whatever. That's football,
That's
right?
happening. The football.
Is it the football? All right, we're going to do that. Yes, I agreed. I am picking an app that might be familiar to those who know me for a long time because I don't think I've ever picked this app, but I once wrote an app just like it. But I gave up on it because it was too hard to keep up with Apple's thing, and it's just hard to be in this market. Anyway, but what happened was I missed your anniversary the other day.
You sure did.
So I was like, damn it,
and you have 2 shots at it.
No, I only accept one. I'm not paying attention to you and your
2
dumb.
shots.
No, I don't do the double. I'm not doing the
2
unbirthdays.
chances and you didn't do it.
No. I did. You called me up and said I'm going out for my birthday or for my anniversary. I said happy anniversary. So I didn't miss anything.
Missed it.
No.
Totally.
I missed the Bitmoji in the morning.
Did I miss yours?
My anniversary?
Yeah.
Probably.
Nope.
Oh, okay. So
nope.
I don't.
Didn't.
I don't have it because I probably told you 2 days in advance. I'm going out for my.
It's in my thing. I have it.
So I keep people's anniversaries, and here's why it was failing me: is because my birthday game is on par, on point. I'm on the point with birthdays. I use the calendar for that. It shows up my calendar. I see it in GTD Week Review. I put it in if I want to specifically say something, and basically I put people's birthday on their contact card whenever I learn it. It works great. But anniversaries, there's a field for it on your contact card. But I don't have anything. No calendar will read from it. Nothing. And I looked forever trying to find one. And I couldn't find a calendar that read an anniversary date and put it on the calendar. It just pisses me off. So I went out and had to buy an app that does
Things that piss you off.
It's true. So I bought Happy Days, which...
Oh, how about that?
For $1.99 that has birthdays and anniversaries. And it does anniversaries. And it's really nice because it actually reads the anniversary date. And so I can now see that my uncle's having an anniversary.
In the app?
It's just in the app.
So you have to remind yourself to open the app?
No, because you can put on alerts. So
that's good.
It'll do alerts.
Alert me.
Right. There is a free way to do this, and I did it in my address book. So address book on Mac, if you go in and create a smart folder, says show me all anniversaries that are coming up that have anniversary filled out that are in the next 30 days. So you can do it for free. You just have to know to check that. Versus this, it kind of alerts you. So
the alerting is the key.
And it alerts.
That's what you need.
It alerts here too.
Right.
It alerts on your phone. So
now Facebook's even smart. They alert you. It's someone's birthday.
Right.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me.
I'm not on Facebook, so I don't care. To me.
You don't exist on Facebook?
Oh, I exist. I just not ever on it. I haven't logged into Facebook in months.
Or nothing?
Nope.
Not for
Everything
turned
birthdays? Off. Everything's turned off. I don't pay any attention to it.
Because it just pings me. It's like, hey, it's your cousin's birthday. And I'm like, oh, good. Let me wish her a happy birthday.
So you know what it doesn't do? Children. So if you want to track that your friend...
I don't care about children.
Really? There's some children in your life you do care about.
Oh, well, I have her birthday in my contact card. I don't wish her... Here's the thing.
She's young. She won't be on Facebook for 10 years.
I have two sections of people in my life. There's the people who get the text or the call for their birthday.
And there's
there's the people who get the Facebook message on
Right.
their birthday.
So
So,
to me-
for those who are listening, you know where you stand when it's your birthday, if you get a text or if you get a Facebook message.
For me, you only
That's
get
that.
one. You get a text or a call. There's no Facebook message. I just
Or you don't know it.
I don't do it. No.
Or you don't know the person's birthday.
Oh, I know everybody's birthday.
Oh, you do, don't you?
I mean, literally. I love it. Well, because it's in my calendar. That works great. In the calendar, it's right in the top, and it tells you how old they are and everything. And you just text
I know I
them.
have so many people who are like 10 years old.
Yes, because you put them in
When I
right.
first got the phone,
I had-
started, like capturing it in their
Yep.
contact card.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, they're not 10.
I don't know what their year is. I know. I do the same thing. Although I'll ping them on, like there was my friend who's a doctor the other day. I texted her and I was like, "Happy birthday! Which one is it?" And then she gave me it, and then I retro-put the date.
What year are you born? I'm this year.
Yeah. So that's where if you capture it here, it can be better because then you know big ones as opposed to Facebook. They can block you from knowing the year. Anyway, happy days, $1.99 or 99 cents, whatever. It's on iTunes. It's okay. It does enough. It does some of the things. It reads the anniversary. You can go backwards and forwards. It does a lot of stuff that I have, but I like the anniversary side of it. And the alerting, and it alerts on the iPhone or on the Apple Watch. So for those of you who are missing it or don't want to be in Facebook every 5 seconds, this is a good thing. All right. Speaking of good things, we'll be back next week with some more summers, and we'll talk about WWDC, of course. But until then, you can follow at Just Edelstein, follow at Jason M. Atwood, follow at Arkus Inc., Facebook.com/Arkus Inc. We're both in the Success Community and Power of Us group hubs. And special plug, there's a GTD group in Success Community that you can join if you want to learn about that stuff. LinkedIn, Google+. Remember to subscribe. We love reviews on Stitcher and iTunes and Google. Until next week, Justin and Jason saying enjoy those cloudy days.